And welcome back to the Over 40s Fitness Podcast. My name's Tristan Lowe, and today's short video, as we reach the third week in October, is looking after your skin. Now, for those of you watching on YouTube, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get really close up to the camera and show you where I had a minor surgery this morning just underneath my eye, and I had a skin growth. They called it a skin tag or something like that. So if you're squeamish, look away. And if you look here, there's a little red dot underneath my eye there, and a little bit of swelling. And about 5 hours ago, I had a local surgeon in Lincoln City put an injection, quite freaky really, to lie down in the surgery whilst the guy takes a syringe and pushes it into the soft tissue underneath my eye. I was quite nervous at first because it's so close to the eye, but this guy does it all day, every day. He had two assistants with him that were the surgeons. So I did actually ask if I could film the procedure, of which the surgeon said yes, but the assistant said it was prohibited recently. But we're talking about skin, and skin is a major organ in our body, of which you've got skin, I've got skin. I can be thick-skinned most of the time and thin-skinned when it suits me. But here we go. So a little bit of surgery there, had it sorted. It was a skin tag, a skin growth that had actually started to get larger and larger. So eventually I made an inquiry through the NHS, and they looked at it and said, right, it's too close for your eye for my local GP surgery to remove it. So they had to send me to a specialist, of which I waited, I think 4 or 5 weeks, no problem. I was in and out there in less than half an hour. Eye feels a little bit sore, but that's it. It's not so bad. I'm going back to work this evening. I've got 3 more appointments in my personal training centre. Well, let's look at the skin. What I'm going to do is just read a small paragraph about the skin from one of my reference books. Okay. Skin is the body's first line of defence against potential harm. As such, it is well equipped to prevent physical damage due to its supple cushion qualities. The epidermal cells that form skin's outermost layers are tightly knit together but allow a certain amount of pliability. The cells are almost entirely full of tough protein keratin, which resists attacks by many kinds of chemicals. The natural secretion of the sebum from the millions of sebaceous glands, each associated in a hair follicle, is slightly oily at body temperature and spreads easily. It furnishes the skin with partially water repellent and antibiotic qualities, inhibiting the growth of certain microorganisms, and prevents hairs from becoming too brittle. The skin is one of our first lines of defense. It actually, the biggest organ in the body, and it wraps our skeletal frame. It covers our entire body. Without skin, we'd be dead. Okay, our immune system, nervous system, musculoskeletal system would just literally shut down. In how long, I don't know. But if you didn't have skin, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be watching this, and I won't be doing this video. Okay, now, and the reason that I thought to post this is because when I got this skin tag, this dead skin underneath my eye forming, it formed over a couple of years, maybe 3 years. It kind of started as a tiny little dot, no bigger than the head of a pin, and then it just grew and grew and grew until it got to a point where I couldn't ignore it. It didn't affect my vision as it was below the eye, but what it did do was start to show up in pictures, photos, or when I was brushing my teeth in the morning, getting ready for work, I could see it. And whilst it didn't affect my physical function, or I didn't lose sleep over it, what it did do was start to bug me. And it's probably one of the first times that I can think of, certainly at my age, at 53, where something was simple aesthetics. Something was simple down to an aesthetic reason why I wanted to address it. Now, we address musculoskeletal disorders, we address bodyweight issues, we address injuries, ones that have happened, work injuries, sports injuries, and a lot of people, I would think more women than men, address cosmetic injuries. But let's look at cosmetic as getting your hair cut. Okay, why do we go and get a haircut? Well, us guys, we go and get a haircut. If like me, every 4 or 5 weeks, go to a local place, cost £10, £12, I don't know. I give them a £1 or £2 tip. They get it done really quickly. Why do women go and get their hair cut? Perhaps less than us men. Perhaps, I don't know, for women it's every 2 or 3 months, I don't know. But I know it costs more for women to go and get their hair done. Why do we take a shave? Why do we grow our beards? Why do we keep our shoes clean? Because that's cosmetic or aesthetic. Yep. All right. So and it is interesting. It is important that our aesthetics, how we look, is important, and our skin is important. I about 10 years ago, can't remember, maybe less, I started looking after my skin more when I went away on holiday. I've spent a lot of time in the sun, and I never used to wear skin block, or what do you call it, sunblock. And it was an old girlfriend of mine back in the, let's have a look, late 90s, early 2000s. She taught me into it because I used to go away in these on sunny holidays and sit there in 90-degree plus heat for a week or two with no sunblock. And because I was naturally dark skinned compared to other people, because my dad's dark skinned, so I always thought, my skin's protected against the sun. It's 95, 96 million miles away. It's not going to bother me. But I still used to get burnt. So I stopped doing it and I started wearing sunblock, factor 15, factor 20, I can't remember. And if I go away in a warm climate now, sunny climate, I'd still do it now on a beach holiday. And about 10, 12 years ago, maybe more, I started putting on moisturiser on my hands to look after my hands. I used to put it on my face if I had a clean shave, after skin moisturiser. I used to do that since my 20s, but my hands, always washing my hands at work, soap and water, hot water, hand sanitizer. So I use skin moisturizer more often than not now. Otherwise you get splits in my knuckles and all over my hands, especially in the winter. And of course, when you get those cuts and splits in your hands, not only does it sting and look unsightly, it's actually open to infection as well. So I look after my skin more now at my ripe old age than I did in my 20s, 30s and 40s. And what I would say is, a lot of women look after their skin. They put moisturiser on their whole body when they step out the shower before they go to work, and they moisturise their face and their hands and their feet and all that. And not just on holiday, they do it on a daily basis because they want to have good skin. Now, and I imagine some men do as well. Some men might moisturise their whole body each morning when they get out the shower, or maybe before they go to bed. I don't do it before I go to bed because it traps the heat in, I think, and it makes you sweat. I prefer to do it during the day, but I don't moisturise my whole body. Maybe in the middle of summer when I've spent too much time in the sun, but otherwise, no, just my hands and once in a while my face. Now, it's interesting how people will actually look after their skin, excuse me, like that. Moisturiser, tanning lotions, sunblock, these fancy creams that you can spend a fortune on. Some of those creams or moisturising things from these skin clinics can cost up to £100. But it's interesting how some people, women and men, will spend a fortune on skin products, but won't spend that time, effort and money on looking after what's below the skin. And that's their body fat levels or their body weight issue. Someone could be 3, 4, 5 stone overweight and think nothing of spending on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, a small fortune on fancy skin products, to make their skin look nice. And I think to myself, well, surely Jill from Bristol or John from Newcastle, whoever you are, should actually take more care of what's underneath. It's like people that buy expensive clothing, men that buy expensive designer clothing and put expensive aftershave on, but they can't do the push-ups, they can't do the squats, they can't go for a speed walk, they can't swim, or they don't do any exercise, but they wear fancy stuff and fancy jewellery and expensive designer clothing to actually cover up the fact that they are unhealthy and unfit. So you are always, no matter where you go, you could be inside your home, at work, in your car, overseas, you are always inside your own skin, physiologically and metaphorically. No matter where you go, there you are. I can't remember what film that was from, but it was from a film. The skin, as you can see here, has got a lot of points to talk about, of which I'm going to read more up about this tomorrow morning before I work. Skin deep, that phrase, you've got to say to yourself, right, okay, if you're willing to do what I did and either go private or wait for the NHS to sort out a problem, a blemish, an aesthetic problem, and a cosmetic problem, for want of a different phrase, then equally what you should do is take the time, effort and money and due care, in looking after what's under your skin. Yeah, Remember, this is here to protect us: bones, tissue, muscle, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, the nervous system. That's all protected by our body's outer shell, being this stuff, this crude soft tissue, skin, yeah, and all the different layers, the epidermis layers, the dermis layers. They're here to protect us from infection and fight off antibodies, or whatever you call it, fight off different forms of our body's under attack. So, okay, well, based on that, that's it. Look after yourself. If I can look after myself and let a total stranger, irrespective of the fact that he was a surgeon, stick a syringe underneath my eye, and then there was this strange smell as he started to burn away. They used like a freezing technique, and I said to him, "What's that smell?" He said, "It's your skin being technically burnt off." And of course, they take the offending article, the skin tag, after, and I think they actually send it away for some kind of not, I wouldn't say biopsy, but a test to find out if there was any abnormalities in the skin. But yeah, so this is going to heal hopefully over the next 7 to 10 to 14 days. I'll get as much fresh air to it as I can and eat a good healthy diet, because remember, this is part of our body wanting to repair quickly. That's it. That's today's short episode. Look after your skin. It's part of your health, but equally look after what's underneath it. And then you can look after everyone else, like this lady here did, Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. She took care of everyone because she was good in her own skin. Yeah, and if you've seen the films Kill Bill 1 and 2, her skin took a lot of battering. I would ask you to watch it. I think it's one of Quentin Tarantino's finest films. I'm waiting for part 3 to come out, but yeah, she looked after her skin, and what a set of skin it was. Uma Thurman, Kill Bill. All right, that's it. My name's Tristan Lowe. The podcast is the Over 40s Fitness Podcast with Tristan Lowe. I'm on YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Please like, subscribe, and share to the channel. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening.